Hi, my name is Scott Birkin. I'm the author of a book called How Design Makes the World, and I'm here to share with you a fascinating story of design that involves the Notre Dame Cathedral. But first, I have to show you a code. This code right here should mean nothing to you, but this code played a key role in why the fire at the cathedral was so devastating. One common problem that people fall into when they're building things is hard. It's hard to keep track of budgets and schedules and to deal with all the engineering challenges required to build things. So the people who built the fire alarm system at the cathedral worked really hard to build it, and they did a good job in terms of making sure it got built. But one trap that people who build things fall into, they're so focused on making sure the thing gets built, they forget to think about how the thing will get used. And in the case of the cathedral, the story was they built this fire alarm system without ever thinking through or thinking about who's going to be the people who actually use the system. They didn't ask the question, who are we designing for? And it turned out the security guards who were there that day when the fire happened didn't really know what any of the messages that came from the fire alarm system meant. They weren't prepared for it. They weren't trained for it, and the system wasn't designed for them not to have some understanding of what all these codes mean. So when the fire alarm went off, they tried to figure it out. They tried to do their best to investigate the fire, but they made many mistakes. They went to the wrong part of the building. They came back. They eventually figured out their mistake. They discovered the fire after many, many minutes had gone by and finally called for the fire alarm, for the fire department to come. But all that time explains the difference between a fire that could have been put out quickly and one that was devastating and may lead to permanent damage that can never be fully repaired. Now, the lesson here for everyone is that so many of the things that we use every day that frustrate us, they frustrate us for the same reason. The people who made them were thinking so much about building, they weren't thinking hard enough about how it would be used, or what assumptions they can make about what knowledge you would have, or what would be frustrating for someone who uses it. The fire alarms in most of our homes and apartments, they tend to go off at 2 or 3 in the morning with a fire alarm sound only because why? The battery needs to be replaced. Why don't they design it to be better? In part because they're not asking the right questions about what's going to be frustrating for people. They're not thinking enough about design quality. They're focusing purely on the building. Now, if you like this story and you want to learn more about design and how it applies to our lives and how these lessons from designs that exist in the world can be used to help us make better decisions and think about our lives better, you should check out a copy of How Design Makes the World. Thanks.